Always something to see, do, and experience every evening on the Malacon, but more so on Saturday nights. One of our favorite things to do is have dinner downtown at a local restaurant, and then after that head on down through the city and along the Malacon and look for a place for dessert and take in all the sights and activities. And best of all, it's all free, except for buying the dessert, that is. So one of the best things to do on a Saturday night is listen to all the live music and cultural dancing that you'll find in a variety of establishments as you walk the Malacon. There's people putting on different costumes, such as the Predator or Cowboys, chess player, even Edward Scissorhand from the movie. You can catch interactive shows, such as the fireworks display from the pirate ship. Watch the Papantla flyers twirl off their pole down to the ground level. And if you're lucky enough, some ethnic dancers. You can shop for your typical souvenirs, and there's lots of things to buy for the kids as well. And if you didn't have an early dinner, you can always grab something at all the kiosks around the Malacon as well, or stop at one of the restaurants there. In this video, we're going to walk through part of the downtown and then to the pier, where we'll start our Malacon walk right through the end. Total distance is about 2 kilometers or less than 1.25 miles. So we're currently walking along Olis Atlas Street, which is one of the main streets, and with lots and lots of restaurants. And we just ate at a local restaurant called La Pizzetta here, and we're heading back from that, and we're going to turn left here onto Francisca Rodriguez, and that's the street that runs right into the Las Muertas Pier. And if you haven't seen it at night, you need to, because the lighting that they have on it is truly incredible. Anyways, here we go, the start of our walk. Saturday nights are always busy with tourists and locals and expats walking the streets. The city comes alive most nights, but especially so on Saturday nights. On this little section of street on Francisca Rodriguez, there's lots of coffee shops, lots of restaurants. One of our favorites, if you like Asian food, is Charlie's Walk, and that's to our left here with all the lights. But the real highlight of walking here is going to the pier, where you'll see all the lights on the pier. It's spectacular during the day, but more so at night. Great place to walk around it, catch the lights, see the fishing boats bobbing in the ocean at night and during the day, of course. But we really like it at night with all the lights, and the lights change colors. Mostly it's the blues and greens and so forth. It's really spectacular. And I'll show you that in just a moment. So this restaurant here is known as Cohetes and Cohetes, and they always seem to have live music in the evenings on the weekends. Great place to check out. I've eaten lunch here, never dinner, and the food has always been excellent. They also own all these tables on the sand here, so you can sit next to the band inside, or you can sit on the sand and just listen to them from there, and it's a great spot because you get a beautiful view of the pier as you see here. So I believe most people refer to this section of the walk as part of the Malacon, but officially I don't believe so. I believe it starts on the north end near McDonald's at 31 October and then ends at the Laszlo Cardenas Park, and this is just an extension, but most people think it as part of the Malacon. You can see it's a busy weekend here. It's Saturday night, and there's a lot of people walking about, which makes it very interesting, especially if you're people watchers. So now we'll walk along this section and we'll check out all these little restaurants right beside the ocean here. You'll see what kind of seating they have. At night they light up all the tables on the beach. Just lots of action here. So if you like people, or people watching I should say, this is probably the place to come. So it's currently around 8:30 in the evening, and I think a lot of the, at least the expats and tourists have left the beach. They've eaten already, and therefore you don't see a lot of the tables occupied, at least on this section, but there is still quite a few people inside some of these restaurants here. Most of them are playing a little bit of music, and I'm trying to talk over them because I get a copyright infringement if I play anything that can be detected by the algorithms on YouTube. So sorry about that, but I'll try and get some natural sounds in here as much as possible. So we're still walking along. There's still lots of lights here, lots of different restaurants, and actually lots of bars. Most of the restaurants you'll see them across on the beach and then right across. But there's a number of different places where you can have a drink, such as this one here on the right, where you go up the stairs. I believe it might be called Mixology, and they apparently have some really great drinks. And you sit up a little bit high, which is nice to get away from people if you want to get a little bit of a break from all the traffic, or pedestrian traffic that is, and still see the ocean or listen to it and see all the lights at this section. So next up is the Los Arcos Hotel and Resort, and they have pools right along the beach here. And one thing really nice about coming here is generally on the weekends they always have some live music and dancing, so some cultural dancing that is. So you have a chance, you can sit on the sidewalk here or stand and take some pictures of the cultural dancers like we did, but more importantly listen to their music and really enjoy it. Always something interesting to see here. And I would say if you're looking for a great location to stay, Los Arcos might be it, especially if you have some mobility issues and you don't want to go up and down the hills, which are infamously steep. I know because I live on one, and there's some of the walkways aren't the greatest. This is a really centrally located resort. It's very colorful. I've heard really good things about it. They seem to always have lots of entertainment. Their restaurant also is right on the sidewalk, right across from the beach. They have tables and chairs there as well. So if you're coming to Puerto Vallarta, you don't want to be in a classical resort outside of town. You want to be in the middle of things. This would be one place to consider, and that's called Los Arcos. And right now they're doing their cultural dancing show. So as I said earlier, I have an issue with music on my videos because I'll get a copyright infringement, so I'm just going to try and talk over some of the cultural dancing here. So hopefully you can hear a little bit of the music in the background, and hopefully I can fool the algorithm here not to infringe on it. But anyways, we spent quite a few minutes here watching the show before moving on. Hope you enjoyed it. So we'll now continue on our walk and see the rest of the restaurants up on this little stretch. And the last one that we're going to see is called the Blue Shrimp. It's at the end of this little walkway before we hit the Laszlo Cardenas Park. But the next one up here is called Norrock. And it's an interesting restaurant in that it's actually tables where you're sitting low and you're surrounded by water. I have eaten here. Very, very nice. Really enjoyed it as well. You can also have the option of sitting on the beach as well, but there's something a little different about sitting on tables surrounded by water, and I highly recommend you choose that. So here is the restaurant Norrock on my right. And I'll get above the glass here and take a few shots so you get an idea of what it is all about. And as you can see, it is extremely nice. And they also had a live violinist playing tonight, great music. And I'm going to talk over that so I don't run into my copyright infringement issues here. Anyways, great classical music, great sound in a very inviting and classic atmosphere. So at the end of this little stretch of the Malacon, or the boardwalk, is called the Blue Shrimp. It's been an established restaurant here for many, many years. A lot of people rave about it. We're going to turn up this little walkway now because you can't go any further along the beach for a moment. And there's a small Italian restaurant to our left. People really enjoy that as well. I believe it's called a Taste of Italy, but I could be wrong there. And on the right is the Laszlo Cardenas Park. And on Saturdays, between about 9:30 and 10 to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they have their open market here where they have music playing at this little amphitheater, and behind it, lots of food offerings and kiosks and lots of souvenir shopping to be had. But at night, during the weekends, and most nights, they also have maybe no music or entertainment, but they have all these souvenir shops. So there's lots of souvenir shopping to be had in the evenings here, as well as during the day. And I have all your classic souvenirs, sunglasses, hats, dresses, towels, knickknacks, and so forth. And you'll find that all along the Malacon, even into late into the evening. There's also restaurants and bars to be found here as well. So my understanding is that the Malacon actually ends at the Laszlo Cardenas Park, and it starts at the 31 October Street where you see McDonald's, and it is 1.6 kilometers or 1 mile long. So now we're going to walk that entire length and show you what can be seen here. And in addition to shops, there's lots of statues along the Malacon to explore, lots of artwork, souvenirs. But one of my favorite things is that there's also a lot of entertainment. We're going to see the pirate ship, hopefully at between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. The ship comes into shore, and as soon as it turns to go back out, it fires off its fireworks. And we'll get to see that. That lasts only a few minutes, but it's a great free excursion or free thing to do. And we're going to hopefully come across the Papantla flyers, and at the Los Arcos amphitheater on most Saturday nights there's always entertainment there, so we'll check those out as well in this video. So one of the newest statues put on the Malacon the last couple of years is this burro sitting at a table having a drink, and it's an interactive statue, meaning that you can sit down on a little bench and have a drink with the burro and take a few pictures. Very popular here, with most of the tourists stopping to entertain themselves with pictures here and souvenirs. There's also a lot of vendors selling their wares along the Malacon. You can pick up any souvenirs in a shop or just with these local guys. Over here is the Sea Monkey restaurant. They have the restaurant on the right-hand side, but then again a bar and tables for dinner as well on the left-hand side. And it looks like they're getting set up for Valentine's Day based on that decoration. This large hat covered with hearts sitting on top of one of their palapas. Anyways, if you have a chance, this is actually a good place to grab a drink, especially if you want to sit near the beach. Perfect spot. Well, the next large establishment is called the Molina de Agua. It's a condominium complex. I believe Molina de Agua in Spanish can be or translated to English into a watermill. And there's a statue on the right-hand side we're going to come by in a minute that shows a woman washing in the stream with a Molina de Agua or watermill in the background. Understanding that this was quite a large park, and then this development came in and they put up this statue, which is next to the river here, and the river is the Rio Cuale. So they built a bridge. They're building this largest condominium building, Molina de Agua. They put up the statues and these nice gardens. So one of the most recognizable spots on the Malacon is the bridge over the Rio Cuale. The Rio Cuale flows underneath it, and it flows from the mountains. It's all fresh water, and it comes into the ocean right at this bridge here. And there's a number of bridges. Most of them are road bridges that crosses the Rio Cuale. This is a pedestrian bridge. It's a solid pedestrian bridge, but they all have a couple of other ones as well, but those bridges happen to be swing bridges, so if you're not stable on your feet, this is probably one of the best ways to cross the Rio Cuale, and it's beautiful here. In the middle of the bridge, there's also a walkway that takes you down to the Rio Cuale Islands, where you'll find a lot of souvenir shops and restaurants. The first one on the right is called Oscars. On the weekends, it hosts a lot of parties and weddings and things like that, I've noticed. It's a decent restaurant. I haven't eaten there, but I've heard good things about it, and it's in an ideal location, water flowing by on each side. On the right-hand side is the restaurant. On the left-hand side, there's a tequilery, so if you want to do some tequila tasting, that may be a place to try. So now we're coming up to the walkway that I spoke about earlier. It's in the center of the bridge, and it'll take you down to Oscars and all the souvenir shops on the Rio Cuale Island. If you have a chance, especially during the daytime, it's a great place to souvenir shop and a really scenic location. And on the left-hand side here with a few lights, that's where you'll find the tequilery, where you can do some tequila tasting as well. Looks like it's open right now, but I always see a lot of people going there during the daytime when they walk to Malacon. So as we exit the bridge here, you're going to find another exit ramp that'll take you down to more souvenir shops on the north side of the Cuale River. But if you continue on, you're going to find a lot of restaurants, but also in the evenings, what you're going to find are a lot of kiosks, which are serving food, traditional Mexican food, hamburgers, ice cream, lots of desserts. So if you're looking for desserts after you've had a meal at the restaurant, then this might be the area that you'd like to check out. And if you're looking for a late night snack, it's also a great place to go, and we'll be showing you those shops very shortly. I guess I should say the food court or kiosks for food along the Malacon. So over on the left, right on the seaside, is where you'll find the first set of kiosks or food stalls. And the very first one that always shows up is the one that serves ice cream. It's all natural ice cream. I've had it, and it's very, very good. Lots of different flavors to choose from as well.
Crepes.
So in addition to this large food court, this is a location where you're going to find a lot of actors dressed up in costumes, such as this guy here dressed in the Predator costume. And for those of you who don't know, just a little bit south of Puerto Vallarta is the town of Miss Maloya, and the film Predator starring Arnold Schwarzenegger was actually filmed there, or at least portions of it. And this guy shows up on the Malacon every evening dressed up in his Predator costume. So if you're looking for dessert, this is a great place to hang out or come to. You can see all the cakes and pies and so forth here. And they have lots of kiosks with offering fruit, ice cream, shrimp on a stick, you name it, you can find it here. You saw crepes earlier. You can find just about anything you want at this particular location if you're looking for a late night snack, or if you're looking for even a meal itself. I think these are cholotes. Actually, I believe it's called elotes, and it's a corn type of dessert. At least that's my understanding. I've tried it once. It's not for me, but it's very popular here with the locals for sure. And there's lots of different stands where you can pick those up here. I believe this Malacon statue is known as the Dancers. It's one of the most photographed statues that you'll find on the Malacon, and you can see how beautiful it is, and therefore that explains exactly why it's so often photographed and seen in postcards and so forth when people highlight Puerto Vallarta. So I'm going to go past these little kiosks here where everybody is lining up to grab some food, and we're going to head on over to the Los Arcos amphitheater and see what the entertainment is tonight. So once you reach this fountain here with the dolphins, you know you're in the Los Arcos amphitheater area. I must say there's another entertainer here. It's his guy dressed up as Edward Scissorhands from the movie, doing his thing. And on this stretch here, you're always going to find different entertainers doing that. And then on most weekends, you are going to be able to see different types of entertainers here, especially in the amphitheater here. And some guys actually set up some telescopes that you can use for a fee, and he's just looking at the variety of different planets and stars here. So this is the amphitheater known as Los Arcos. You can see there's a large crowd here. No music today. It seems like we have a comedian here, and the crowd is thoroughly enjoying it, and I think it's a sort of a recessed amphitheater here, so they have stone seating. Every once in a while, they'll erect some bleachers, especially on large holidays such as the Day of the Dead and so forth. And you can see that pretty much on Saturday nights, the place fills up, and people really enjoy that as well. As you can see, there's vendors selling candy floss, chips and popcorn, and toys for the kids at this little stretch. And this is probably the most popular stretch to come along if you want to tour the Malacon. Probably because of the amphitheater, and you're right across from the church, Our Lady of Guadalupe, if you want to go in there and check that out. But what I think most people come here is that they have a large sign here, Puerto Vallarta. They want to take their picture. But this is also a great spot along this stretch here to watch the pirate ship. Every evening, the pirate ship sails, and around between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, there's no real specific time, it comes in very close to shore. It then turns around and then fires off its fireworks, and a lot of people like to be next to the Malacon to catch that, and we were as well. So after I show you the Puerto Vallarta sign where everybody stops to get their picture taken next to the sign, but also this seahorse, or little boy running a seahorse here, which is probably the de facto image of Puerto Vallarta, or symbol of Puerto Vallarta. We're going to stop and we're going to catch the pirate ship, and we'll show you what the fireworks look like from that. And I highly recommend that you finish your meal up and plan to be in this area between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, and you can catch it as well most evenings during the high season, which runs from about November right through April. I will say that probably from this section on is where most of the Malacon statues are located, so it's a great little stretch, this last half of it, to walk along. You'll see some very popular ones, such as King Neptune here with a mermaid on my left-hand side, but also at the very end of this, a wide open section, there's the fluvial or rain statue as well that people are always taking pictures with. And that statue is just to the left here. I always thought this statue had something to do with sun worshippers, because, it's always so sunny during the winter season here. But I've been told it actually represents a guy who's, wishing for rain, and I know lots of Mexicans, when it rains, especially during the winter season, they really like it. It just makes everything nice and clean, and cuts down on the temperature and so forth. So they really enjoy that. So the Malacon has a couple of different sort of laneways. On the very extreme left, you're walking right beside the ocean between these palm trees or planter gardens. And then there is the right-hand section here between these sort of little pillars and a white line. And that's actually a bicycle path. And you need to stay off that. You can see the bicycle symbol right there, or you might get run over because the cyclists can be a little bit aggressive here. But generally at night, there's not too many cyclists, but you still should stay off it. And then the right-hand side is where all the restaurants and stores and shops are. So you need to pick which side you want to walk on. I generally prefer to walk on the seaside because I like to see if I can spot a whale while I'm walking along. Obviously, I can't do that at night, but also the Malacon statues are on this side, so it's a great place to walk. But if you're looking at window shopping, then obviously you want to be on the right-hand side. So tonight at about 8:45, the pirate ship came into shore, turned around, and shortly thereafter they started their fireworks. And that happens most nights on the Malacon, or just off the Malacon, so it's great to be there to see it. So during the high season, which is sort of like from January to March, the ship comes out pretty much every single night. And when you see it come into shore in this turnaround, generally between the hours of 8:30 and 9 o'clock, and it varies, I'm not sure why, but 8:45 is generally a good time, but it can go at 8:30 and can go all the way to 9 o'clock. But the big thing is just watch the position of the ship, because they never fire off their fireworks until they're coming to shore, and then reverse the ship and head on out. And then you'll get anywhere from 10 to about 15 fireworks. I think right now they're doing about 11. It's a great little show. It's obviously for free, and it's you can see the ship actually quite up close. It comes very close to the Malacon, so we're a little bit away from it. But if you're more near the Los Arcos, and it can change in position, but generally right near Los Arcos there, that amphitheater, the ship will come right into shore. So if you can see actually the size and the markings on it. It's actually quite a spectacular vessel, and you get to check it all out. But it's shortly after it turns around, they launch the fireworks, and it's just a nice little show to observe. So now that we've seen the pirate ship launch their fireworks, we're going to continue our path down the Malacon, and we look at some of the statues. This is one of my favorites. It's these pillow head people basically climbing this ladder. I don't know if it has something to do with going into dreamland, but I like to think of it that way. But there's lots of statues in this particular section, and a great thing to do when you're going down. What we are going to see next is a lot of different nightclubs. So if you're into nightclubs, all the nightclubs basically in Puerto Vallarta, I should say, some of the more lively ones playing sort of a rap type music are on this end, the north end of the Malacon. I'll show you those shortly, and we're going to hopefully see the Papantla Flyers and see their show. Again, another free show, free, and it doesn't cost you anything to watch it, but the performers do come around asking for tips, and we'll see that shortly as well. And of course, in this area of the Malacon, there's lots of restaurants and bars and lots of souvenir shops as well to check out. As I said just a minute ago, this is the stretch near the north end of the Malacon, near 31 October, which is the very north end, where you'll find all the nightclubs that play this modern music. They're all dance clubs. They all have laser lights and theatrics, very popular with younger people. I would say it's only around 9 o'clock now, so there is not that many people in them, but my understanding is they're open till about 6 in the morning, and they're jam-packed at night. I myself have never gone in there because I find the music too loud, and it's really not my style, but I do see the attraction here. There just seems to be a really lively atmosphere. And having said that, I will say that you have lots to choose from as well. I think there's 3 or 4 in a row here. So I guess the best thing to do is come on down, find the one that's occupied the most, and head over to that one if you like the entertainment and the music that they're playing. So we'll now continue on our walk, and we're going to stop in a little bit on the left-hand side is where the Papantla Flyers have their pole set up, and where they do their interesting, I guess, homage to the northwest, south, and east, and all the gods. And I guess it symbolizes, the rain, the sun, and so forth. I wish I knew a little bit more about it, but I don't. And anyways, the show is good, and it's only the cost of a tip to basically watch it. But first we need to continue walking on down this stretch, and along this stretch you're going to find a lot of stores, a lot more restaurants, and a lot more bars. A lot of the bars are actually on the second floor, so look up, and if one interests you, obviously go there. As I said earlier, there's also lots of these statues on the Malacon, such as this one here. This is called the Lucky Seahorse, and you're supposed to touch it, and that's supposed to bring you good luck. I think that's why the center of the statue looks a little worn compared to the rest of it. Again, lots of beautiful lights here associated with these restaurants and shops. Some are still open. I think they're open till almost 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock, but then they'll close down. It was around 9:30 right now, so you could see that some of the vendors on the street were open, still selling different things. Definitely some of the stores were closing up. So if you want to do some shopping, I recommend you come a little bit early, but a lot of the restaurants are still open, but at this time of night, probably not that many serving food, and most of the people here are actually in some of the bars, having a few beverages, watching the lights, and enjoying the evening. And here we are, close to the north end of the Malacon. That's at 31 October Street, which is the extreme north end. And these are the Papantla flyers. They're an indigenous group, and they drop from this tower and go in a circle around it until they reach the ground. Anyways, let's just watch the show here. As I said earlier, I don't know what this act of these indigenous people are by doing this sort of feat, but I believe it has something to do to recognize the four corners of the earth and what was believed to be the major elements of the earth, which is water, wind, fire, and sky. If anybody knows and would like to educate us all, please leave a comment in the comment section of this video. It would be truly appreciated. Well, I hope you enjoyed the Papantla Flyers. They actually perform during the day as well as the evening. I see them many times once the cruise ships come in, because there's obviously lots of people going down the Malacon for tours, and they try to get as much from the tourists as possible to support their cause. So we'll continue on now with our hike. This is Senior Frogs on the right-hand side, and if you're looking for a party, especially if you have kids, that is the place to go. They always have clowns who dress the kids up in balloons and so forth. Extremely popular. I must admit, I have never tried the food there, but I hear it's good. But I know it's a fun place, just judging by all the people that actually happen to go there. So at this point, we're almost to the end of the Malacon, which is at 31 October, and there's a fairly large McDonald's there. It's very popular if you want to grab an ice cream, and a lot of the locals go there because it is great food, great ice cream, and it's actually one of the most inexpensive places to go to grab an ice cream as well. You're going to find a few restaurants here, a few bars, and lots of places to do some souvenir shopping as well. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. Leave any comments, any suggestions on different places you would like me to check out as well, and I'd be glad to research them for you. Just showing this souvenirs here. They're asking $5 for these little blankets. Actually, I think that's one of the nicest souvenirs you can get in terms of I guess the cost. You know, it's very cheap for a nice woven blanket, and I bought many of them, and I use them when I go to the beach to put my beach chair on, and so I don't have my feet in the sand all the time. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe.